everybody, what's happening? It's Thursday night. Time for another episode of Thrifty Business. I'm your one host, Jay.
Hi, I'm Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm looking at this ocean water. I was at the beach the other day, and I want to go back so bad.
Hey, I was in Hawaii last week, so
yeah, you win.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to a Thursday night with Thrifty Business. Happy to, I'd say, be back. I mean, we just did the anniversary show, but that was a crazy, awesome show. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. But tonight we're going to be, we're back to normal, let's say, for whatever normal is for Debbie and I. So,
Yeah.
so let me get,
We can't be too normal. That would be boring.
No, we cannot be too normal. That's for sure. Oops. Just when I thought I was prepared. There we go. Ta-da.
Oh.
All right. Let's, where's the,
Too much rum?
not enough yet. That's the problem. All right. Time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week, I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug, and I try and match it up to our guests. And our guest this week is Ashlyn Haddon. Hi, Ashlyn. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am good. Now, you live in Indiana. You don't have a name that is the same name as a rum. I'm like, what am I going to do today? And then we did a test, and I saw your picture in the background there. And granted, this is a Christmas mug, but still, I do have a elephant tiki mug from Disneyland. And since you got your elephants hanging over you there, I thought that would be perfect. And since we're talking about insurance tonight, and when do you need insurance? When bad things happen, like, say, a fire.
I love it.
You like that, Deb?
I do.
Yeah, Stacy and I, my wife and I, were wandering around the house going, okay, what could be a disaster? Oh, how about a fire?
You two are so great at matching the mug and the rum.
That's great.
So what are you drinking out of tonight, Debbie?
Well, I looked it up. This is a Smuggler's Cove. Kuhiko, I believe is what it's called. This is one of my favorite. I love the design on the back. And I actually have rum tonight. This was a crazy day, so this is a rum day.
You just like the back because there's a butt on it.
Oh, I didn't even notice. No, And I actually have a metal straw. I had to go to eBay Open to get a free metal straw. So I finally have one.
So Ashlyn didn't know we were doing cocktails, so she ran out real quick. And so what'd you come back with? Now that is the clearest tiki mug I have ever seen.
I didn't have any tiki mugs, so I had to go with a Stella mug.
Oh, I didn't realize it was Stella. Okay, Stella gets an okay pass. I like that.
Not bad.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers.
All right, Ashlyn, sit back, relax, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Cool. All right, let's get this up here. Ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. And let's get right into it because I got tons of fun stuff to share with you tonight. Time for our scores of the week. These are the things that you should be on the lookout for. These are the things that you should be hunting for in the thrift store. All right, Debbie, you are away.
I am first up. Okay, I do a consignment for a local client, and we've been getting a lot of these Folio Society books. So always look for those. You can see it right on the edge, the spine. It says Folio. So this was a set of 8. We had it listed for $199, and a buyer offered $150. We said no. So we counted. We ended up at $160. And talk about a shipping mistake. We did not have
Oops.
What?
I was moving it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. We did not have media mail checked for this. Can you believe that?
My.
So he paid parcel post, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder he had to make an offer to get it for less. He paid us $66. And I said, and I messaged him, no response back. Media mail was $15. So same to arrival time. So I went ahead and shipped it media mail and refunded him like over $50. So that was a big oops on our part. We probably would have sold them for more. And then we have this cute moose t-shirt. Probably paid $2 for it. It sold for $29. Can you see the moose falling off his bar stool?
Yeah, here, I'll pop that. There we go.
Yeah. Watch out for, watch for dropping moose.
Moose dropping.
Moose dropping. Yes.
Which means poop.
I know.
All right.
But it reminds me of that Trader Sam's, your bar stool will start going lower.
Yep.
Arts of Asia magazine. I think this is the last set. Consignment. We had 4 sets of these. And I wouldn't think that these would be big sellers, but it sold for $45. So 4 sets each sold for $45. We can't ship these media mail because of the advertising in them. So they fit in I think a priority flat rate box. So that helped because they are heavy. So always be on the lookout for this type of magazine.
Very nice. And love the picture. See, there's your tip. You angle the head about a 3/4. And that way you can see the curve of the brim. You can see the side. You can see the front. You can see the top. Boom. Great photo.
My husband's paying attention to the shows. But that one sold for $29.99. Full asking price. Nice.
S&H tank service. That's crazy.
Yes.
All right. Huge fan of the Jay Giles band. Unfortunately, I never got to see them. This was a tour shirt from their 1999 tour. And I couldn't find any other long sleeve ones right now. I picked this up at Buffalo Exchange for, I think, $8 and sold it for $36.49.
Nice.
This Keith Haring backpack I picked up for $5. I don't think anyone was paying attention that it was Keith Haring. If you don't know who Keith Haring is, he was an amazing artist. He died of AIDS in the 80s, early 90s. I'll probably get that wrong, but I think I'm right. And if I got it wrong, I'm sure someone will correct me really quick. But anyway, I picked up this backpack for a couple bucks and sold it. It didn't sell for the 70, it sold for $50. And it was a really light backpack, so light it could go first class. So it wasn't really a big deal.
Okay, so he's an artist, but the backpack doesn't have any artwork on it?
Yeah, the whole thing is artwork. See?
Oh, I couldn't see it. Thank you.
Yep, that's his artwork.
Nice.
And I don't know what I love better, the fact that I sold this so quick, or if you don't have a mannequin with a head and articulated arms, you cannot do cool stuff like this.
That's amazing.
I am sure this helps sell this awesome vintage cowboy jacket and vest. It was a vintage Lee piece, and I got $80 for it. Another thing I bought at Buffalo Exchange. So there's the two pieces. There's the Lee. Whoops, let me click on that. There's a Lee right there. I didn't even realize. I guess my assistant could have taken off the dry cleaning tag, but it does kind of show that it was recently cleaned.
Yeah, that's good.
And 42R is not a real big dude. So I was happy it sold. And it went to Canada. So, Canada, thank you very much.
That's awesome.
And Stacy found this for $8 at a garage sale in Ohio last year. Dimensions. And I sold, as you can see, I sold it on eBay Europe. So that's why it is switched language. I sold it for $65. Paid a whole dollar for it. Good job, honey.
Now, did you have to pay more to list it on the Europe side?
I use a service that I pay for that automatically lists all my listings on the different sites. And great question. Where did I get that fun mannequin? I was walking around at the Silverton, which is a casino here. They have this big community sale twice a year, like a flea market. I was walking around and a guy said, "Hey, TV guy." So he knew me from TV. He goes, "You need any mannequins?" And I didn't. And then I saw it with the mirrored face. I'm like, "Yeah, I do need a mannequin." And I saw him the last sale. I go, "Hey man, I love that mannequin. I use it all the time." So thanks for calling me down that time, because I got a great mannequin.
Yes.
All right. So that was our normal scores of the week. Now it's time for my CD and cassette scores of the week. I don't have any cassettes this week, so that's a weird bummer, but I had so many great CDs. Now, here's an awesome one. I paid $1.50 at 99 cents at Savers. As you can see, at some point it was at Best Buy for $4.99. So that was probably when this was what's called a budget title. Because it was still brand new and sealed, this isn't being produced right now, I guess. I don't know. But I got $30 for it.
Nice. And they're on tour right now. And
they're awesome. We just saw them. And then, hey, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, $50. Now, if you have not taken my course yet, what are you waiting for? 30 for Heart, 50 for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. How about $50 for Stormtroopers of Death? And let me show you, Deb, how many songs are on the CD. Are you ready?
4.
Let's count them together. 1 and 2. And that's it.
Oh my, they must be long playing songs.
Nope. It was just a promo single to advertise that they were on tour with Crowbar and Skinland.
You find the best CDs.
Yeah, but you know where I find them? Thrift stores, record stores, all the things I teach. Look at all
Yes.
this money I'm making.
It's crazy.
And here's the reason I want to share this one. The Surf Creatures, $24.99. Sold it on Friday, I think, of last week, and found the exact same CD on Saturday or Sunday when we were in LA sourcing.
Wow. So 2 different states or cities you found those in?
Yeah. So it's always fun to sell something and then find it like a day later.
For sure.
So just a quick relist. And the one I found was in better condition. So I switched the condition from very good to like new, but I didn't have to change the pictures. Nothing else changes. So I just changed the condition and I upped the price a little bit.
Nice.
Okay. So I had a contest in the Thrifting Board. And as you can see, Deb, in big bold letters with asterisks, you must be watching in order to win. Now, there are more people who guessed than are watching right now. So that tells me they didn't read. So they want to participate. They want to win, but you got to follow all the instructions. And I don't hide the instructions. And I said it 3 times in the post. You got to be tuned in. So the question was, what did these 4 CDs sell for? So I shipped those 4 CDs in one morning. And what did they sell for? So the answer is, I should have a drum roll ready, $109.98. So that very Bergdorf holiday I had listed before last Christmas, just sold this week. The PJ Harvey, $23, the David Allen Co. 30, and the Slipknot 37. So our winner would be, if they're in the chat and you just got a few seconds to say, hey, I'm here, is with a guess of $109.97, 1 penny off.
Wow.
Is Karen Splon Terry. Is Karen Splon Terry in the chat? Now, someone guessed like $645. Although I would love to sell 4 CDs for $645. And I have sold single CDs for $500. So it could happen. But yeah, that is not the norm. All right. So since Karen didn't say anything, guessing $109.99, which was a penny the other way, was Kathy Ruse Granzow. Kathy Ruse Granzow, are you in the chat?
Paging Kathy.
See, I told them they got to be watching, and guess what? They're not watching. All right, I'm going on to the next person, which would be I think the next one's in here. Boom. The next closest one was Tom Higgins, and I see Tom in the chat.
Nice.
Tom was $1 off. Boom, there he is.
Wow, that is amazing.
All right, Tom. So you have won my Flippin' CDs webinar. It's 2.5 hours chock full of everything you need to know to get going with selling, flipping CDs online. And I didn't even have artwork ready for that. So Tom, hit me up and I will get you squared away. Now, not everything can be winners, can they, Deb?
Unfortunately not.
Sometimes we have duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours.
Okay, this is a set of paperback books. I got them in a bag sale at our local library sale, so I only probably paid $2 for all of them. But and they sat. And 13 books selling for $18 might not seem like a dud, but they sat around. The funny thing is, I listed those on September 13th, 2018. They sold on September 14th. 2019. So I guess it's a good amount of money, but I don't like things sitting around forever. So, but the good thing is I didn't have to clean them all off. And then this stud is another one that sat around for a long time, since 2016. Well, October 2016, so almost exactly 3 years. I didn't realize when I took a best offer that it was free shipping. So the offer was $22 with free shipping of $8.25 medium mail because they're heavy. And I probably paid $5 in a bag sale for them. So it was a dud, but I'm so glad to see these gone off our bookshelf. This gives me more space for other books.
Woo-hoo. All right. This was Stacy's sweatshirt. So we've been cleaning the house and getting rid of stuff. So not a huge dud, but I thought I would get more. It was a cool tie-dye thing, but I had it listed for a long, long time. And someone finally offered $12. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Get it out of here. But I thought it was cool. But my bigger dud this week is this LOL Fallen Angel Champion Morgana. It's a League of Legends. It's some anime, something or other. Some of that stuff usually does well. This one sat around so long, I'm going to give it this. There we go. I was happy to take $10 with free shipping, and I paid like $6 for it. So goodbye. It was such a dud. So if you ever see Morgana Fallen Angel, don't buy it. Don't buy it. All right. Those are our duds of the week. Now it's time for... Where in the world did our stuff go? If you are not shipping internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers.
Yes. Okay. This went through the city of Derby. Well, I guess it's a city of Derby and state of Derbyshire, United Kingdom. I don't know how their states and cities work, but this little hat here, oh, I forgot how much we sold it for. I think $29. Went to the UK and probably paid $5 for it. Bill's my hat finder. He finds good hats. I think it's really cool. So somebody in the UK needed this hat.
All right. So yesterday I teased Debbie with wait until you see where my item went.
Oh, I tried. I guessed everything I could think of.
So when I shipped this, I glanced at the address. It didn't register in my brain that, wait, where's that going? I never even heard of that. I had to go to a map to figure out where this country is. And so this is probably the weirdest, most remote of all the things I have ever shipped. There's a little tiny island called Reunion. Well, it's French, so it might be a little bit different. Off of Madagascar, which is off of South Africa. But it's a little tiny island, and someone on that island needed a Bob Marley flag for $20.
Yeah. I can understand that. Oh my, they really have mail delivery? It must be by plane.
I saw the word Reunion when I first shipped it, and I meant to really go back and look at it, and I didn't. And then we were prepping the show. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Where in the hell is Reunion?
I guessed everything from Israel to the Vatican to Antarctica. Nope.
You guessed Cuba, which is illegal.
I know. Well, I thought that got changed, but well, I looked at South Africa on the map, but
now it's time for closing cards of the thrifty kind. Sometimes I am horrible at taking pictures and remembering details, but here's the details I remember. Stacy and I went to the Long Beach flea market on Sunday, and this really cool couple had a little a short bus they had turned into like a mobile vintage clothing shop.
Oh, cool.
So, typically at flea markets, people set up their tables. This one, they had a couple things outside, but you came in the bus and you did a little shopping.
Fun.
And so when we were just walking by, the guy's like, hey, you still doing TV? And I'm like, I'm doing some Pawn Star stuff right now. And so we chatted with them for a little bit. But even cooler, we were already past a booth, and a guy came running over. His name was Tom. He goes, oh my God, I'm in the Thrifting Board. I love the Thrifting Board.
Oh.
He says, we work with a school, and this is where my details are fuzzy. I forgot to write down what school, but some school in Orange County where they teach students how to take trash, essentially, turn it into art, and then sell it at places like the Long Beach Flea Market. And then that raises funds for class activities and class trips and stuff. And it was, 5 hours into the flea market, and their booth was almost empty. They had sold pretty well.
Nice.
So I took some pictures with them. So Tom, if you're watching, how are you? And a couple of the things left were really big, and they would have no place in our house. But they did make this cool ass snake who, until an hour ago, had 2 eyes, and I dropped him. So now he's a pirate.
A pirate snake. Perfect. Yep. Goes in the bathroom. Please don't put it in Stacy's bathroom when I'm there.
So I do remember his name was Tom. So big shout out to Tom and those students. So Tom, if you see this and hear this, I would love to have you or the students on. I failed miserably at paying attention or taking enough notes. But if you do see this, and I'll post this in the Thrifting Board also, it was such a cool thing to meet these students and to see what they were doing. So
now, they don't sell online on eBay or anything?
I don't know.
Okay.
We were kind of at the end, and it was hot, and we were sweaty, and it was getting to the point where like, time to get in the car and drive, 4.5 hours home. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me. Tips and tricks, what to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping.
Well,
what are you talking about, Bones?
Bone folder tool. I had to look up the official term. Sometimes you have to how do you say that? Frankenstein boxes together. Because
Frankenbox?
Frankenbox. I think this is a set of books, and it was just a little too tall for the lid to close. And Bill and I are sitting there looking, and I thought, hey, let's crease it. So we got our bone folder tool, and in that first picture on the left there, we just creased it so that it closed, but not all the way. So we got another piece of cardboard in the middle there, and then just put it down the middle and taped it all over. So everything fit perfectly. I didn't have to put another box on top because I only needed about 1/2 inch. So we've done that a couple of times since then. So it was a brilliant idea, if I don't say so myself.
All right, I'm going to pop myself on the whole screen. Look, I screwed up the same thing twice in the last 2 weeks. So pay really close attention. This is definitely a what not to do. I have thrown away $15 in extra shipping costs this week. Yeah.
This earns you a goober.
All right, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So, 2 days ago, I sold this shirt. So I walked over to the t-shirt shelves. It's by a company called Dye Bar T-shirts. It's for the Zoo Bar. I unfortunately sent him this shirt. Same company, same color, totally different bar and different size.
Oh, yeah.
So I sent him his correct one this morning, along with a prepaid label to send the wrong one back. I would like to tell you that's the only time I've done that this week. A person bought this sweatshirt, and a day after I sent it, I was in shipping another sweatshirt and saw this sweatshirt still in the closet and went, what the hell did I ship that other guy? Yep, I shipped him this jacket, which is the same color, but not from Hinano. So what I want to warn you is do not just grab by color. Make sure both times I grabbed by color this week or in the last week, I have screwed myself out of money because I had to get all these things shipped back and forth. So really pay attention to what you're shipping. I'm a doofus.
So you decided to have those shipped back rather than say, keep that one and I'll send you the right one?
Yeah. Now this one I caught so fast. I said, hey, do me a favor. Can you write refuse, return to sender? That way you don't got to open it. You don't got to reship it. It'll just show up back to me. The one today, and they were different sizes and stuff. So it'd be kind of pointless to give them to keep it.
Give them to somebody.
They were both very nice. And then today I printed out a label with the date of next Tuesday because it left today going first class. By the time he gets it on Monday, it'll probably ship on Tuesday. And then boom, it's all good. But yeah.
Well, since we're sharing
a lot of money.
Since we're sharing Goober shipping tips, guess what we did? I had a buyer message me on Sunday. He goes, hey, did my book ship? And I looked it up on my phone. We were out shopping. I said, yeah, it shipped on this day, blah, blah, blah. So I get home and I thought I should look more into that. Well, there was never scanned in. We take everything to the post office. We have it scanned in front of us. I'm like, what's going on here? And I thought, uh-oh. And I went and looked in the trunk, and there was the package. It had slid farther up into the trunk, and we had a lot of packages that day. So I told them, I couldn't get my money back on that other shipping label. It was too late, I guess. So I just put it in a padded flat rate. He got it even sooner than he would have got the medium mail. But I told my husband, I said, from now on, we need to write down how many packages we're taking and how many are on the counter. So we each get a goober.
Hey, real quick in the chat, Angela just said Debbie sounds echoey. It doesn't sound echoey to me. Does anyone else hear Debbie echoey? But while we're waiting for that, it's time for our thrifty tips of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you when you're outsourcing.
Sometimes we have to dig really deep into our brain to come up with something fun and creative. So I thought, and I always run these by Jason, when you have a friend or family member, somebody's getting ready to have an estate sale or a garage sale, ask them, can I come over first before you open? Maybe even try to help them set up so I can shop ahead of time. And you might even have to bribe them with a $20 bill or maybe a Starbucks coffee and say, let me come over and see what you have first. So that, you might get some really good, or people that are getting ready to put stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Ask them to let you know first. What are they getting ready to sell? And you might be able to get some good stuff that way. And I wanted to give a shout out. I can't see her name from here. This gal that makes these garage sale signs. Aren't they great?
Jennifer Allwood.
Yes, junk you need. My husband's making me sell it. I thought that was really cute.
So weird. Half the audience hears you with an echo and half doesn't. That makes zero sense.
Do I sound better now if I take off my headphone?
Yeah, let's try that.
Is that better?
Oh, I just heard me echo. That was weird.
I was hearing a weird humming sound.
All right, we'll go with that. All right, so this is myself and my friend Jeff, who's in the middle, my friend Tim in the blue shirt. And my thrifty tip is don't judge a book by its cover. We went to an estate sale. It was the second weekend of the estate sale. It was a hoarder house. The mom passed. The son's running it. And he didn't care, except for a few things. He didn't care about pricing so much. So when people say, doesn't everyone know how to sell online? I would walk out with just giant box of stuff and he'd be like, $20.
Wow.
So much stuff. So by the time I figured it all out, it was like my mother. Everything was a quarter. So this is one of the things I got for a quarter. It's a Don Post mask from 1983 in great shape. Probably going to get about 40 or $50 for it, which will cover everything I bought. And I bought so much stuff. But if you're not into clothing, here's my don't judge a book by its cover. You see the amount of clothes and furniture on the bed, Deb?
Yep.
Okay, so here's a better shot. We're digging through all this. Yeah, so underneath all those clothes, my friend Tim in the blue says, oh my God, it's a theremin. Now, if you don't know what a theremin is, it's a musical instrument that you would have heard on Star Trek. It's played by electrical waves, and it's like, woo! That's a theremin. And so under all these clothes on this bed was a theremin made by Moog. There he is checking out with his Moog theremin. It's missing the antenna, but it can be fixed. And this isn't the exact same one, but this one sold non-working for parts for $200. And he got the theremin for I think $13 or $10 or something.
Now, when did you find this? Is this recent?
Yeah, Saturday. And
remember when I posted in Facebook and
I know.
And you go, I never heard of theremin, and then you go and find one.
Yep, we were at an estate sale in San Pedro outside of Long Beach.
That's amazing.
All right, where'd my speaker go?
I'm not used to this new graphic. I'm like, oh, what is that?
Yes, this used to be our eBay selling tip, but man, we all sell on so many platforms. We're not going to limit it to eBay anymore. Whatever whoever my co-host, whatever platform we're talking about, it is our online selling tips of the week. And yes, thanks to Nadine for these awesome new graphics. And I got to change my little thing because it still says eBay.
Okay. I had a buyer message me. I had a coffee mug in the box, and she sends this message and says where she lived versus where her aunt lived, there wasn't enough time to get it in the mail and ship it off. And she thought my box it had just a little bit of scuffing. I mean, the box most people would say it looked new, but she said, and I don't want to seeing that ugly, that worn box or whatever. So she asked me if I would do this, and I was happy to do it. I took it out of the box. I bubble wrapped it really nice and put it in a little box. I wrapped it in birthday paper, put a little bow, and then she wanted it to say to Aunt so-and-so from so-and-so, happy birthday, I love you. So I was able to just type that in on my Gmail and print it out and put that on there and double boxed it and sent it off to her. And so she was thrilled. The aunt was thrilled. So my tip is to keep some paper on hand. This is only the second time since 2002 I've ever done this. I shipped a Betty Crocker cookbook once. It was a group of students that were giving it to their choir teacher for Christmas. And I was thrilled to do that. Wrap it all up, put a little note, and ship it. So as we're going into the Christmas season or any time, be prepared to do something like this. I was more than happy. Of course, I did everything through my messages. So she gave me the aunt's address through my messages. So if there was to say, that's not you shipped it to the wrong house. Nope, that's where you told me to ship it. So that was fun. I like to bring joy to people.
Well done. All right. So this whole week is like what not to do. Don't follow my lead all of a sudden. So here's the Slipknot CD I sold for $40. Stacy found it for $3. You would think, great. How is that a what not to do? I have sold this CD, and this is one of the CDs I teach you about in my CD webinar, flippingcds.com. I've sold this CD 20, 30, 40 times over the last 15 years. Well, 1999, 20 years. And I've always thrown it up at $39.99, getting around 32 or 35. I didn't check to see the market has gone higher. Whoops. So I threw up at $39.99, got a sale, and then I looked at Terapeak and look at the average selling price right now.
I can't see it. Was it
$58.50 is the average selling price, and I see one sold June 21st for $70. So although I'm good at this, and although I sold it so many times, I didn't realize the market had changed for the better for a seller, and I sold it at my normal price. Still got a nice profit margin, but I left maybe $20 on the table. Okay? So just because you sold something in the past, double check it.
That's right. I think we need to title this show The Goober Show.
Yeah. All right. And then finally, Jeans with Joy's Good Job Award of the Week. Woo!
Nice.
Joy is our resident jean expert, and she has a great group, Jeans with Joy. And we also love to share when people in the Thrifting Board have done a kick-ass job of finding awesomeness. And this week's kick-ass job goes to Joanne Jones. She found this Big E Levi's lined coat for 10 cents at a church sale. So when people tell you there's nothing to be found anymore, I say hogwash. There is stuff to be found.
I agree.
Everywhere. So good job, Joanne. Well,
that just blew my mind. I think she said all the clothes at that sale were 10 cents each.
Yeah.
You never know when you're out there hunting what you're going to find.
All right. Now, Debbie has a commercial for once. Yay.
We have an announcement. With Jason and Stacy's approval, I created this little notebook that you can I have little prompts. So you have an area for the date, the title, the topic, the guest and the co-host, and the episode number. So, and then bolos. I don't know if you can see this very good. And then on the other side, I put, there's some little boxes. So you have questions, ideas, to-do, supplies, and notes. And there's some cute little graphics. This is the black and white edition. So I'm working on the color edition. But we remember what we write down. And so many times people say, what show was da-da-da? And it's only $6.99 on or $7.99 on Amazon with Prime. If you're a Prime member, you get free shipping. So you can order this. Amazon will ship it to you. I put a little note from Jason and Stacy in the front and something a little bit on the back. So this is just a handy little tool. It's small enough that it can fit, in your purse maybe, or a messenger bag or a laptop bag. So you can always go back and find out what was that bolo that so-and-so talked about. So we thought this would be a fun idea. And so I'm working on one for Peggy's show and, of course, the color edition. So I think we're going to give this one away. Did Jason come up with a question?
No, I totally forgot. So
and I even gave you some ideas. I gave you one idea.
Yeah. All right, so Debbie's going to give this first one away. And, go ahead and ask the question. All right, hold on.
Because I can't see chat. It distracts me, so I don't get to watch it.
I know. All right, so who are the two major musicians that died in the last week?
Ooh.
So if you want to hold it up, Deb.
Oh, yes.
If you want to win the first Thrifty Business Notebook to keep your notes, and I know a lot of people who are still using pen and paper, and if that's what you got to do, that's cool. This will help you greatly. So who are the two major musicians who died in the last week? The first person to give the correct answer will win one of those. There we go. Okay, so spelling does not count, and good job. So where to go? Trends Are Us.
Oh.
Trends Are Us is Eddie Money and Rick Ocasek. So good job, Trends Are Us. Send me a message or Debbie a message, and we'll get you all squared away.
Actually, I actually knew these two answers.
Okay, so real quick, I want to talk about something that I wasn't going to talk about, but apparently the entire YouTubers, I'm a YouTuber involved with eBay, thinks the sky is falling today. It is not. The sky is not falling. Yeah, there are some issues right now with promoted listings on eBay. They told us they were taking away where you would see it twice. Once as promoted, once as not promoted. They told us that. That was not a surprise. So that finally hit. There is a hiccup if you use an ad blocker. I don't think eBay expected that. And I think it was a surprise to everyone. But the amount of chatter today, the amount of videos made, the amount of worry, the amount of, oh my God, life is over that went on today is insane. Insane. Because guess what? You shouldn't be just selling on eBay. So if you think eBay's doing something underhanded and I think what they're doing is a little bit wonky. So go work on your Poshmark listings. Go work on your Mercari listings. Go work on your Etsy listing. Go work on your Amazon listings. The sky is not falling. Stop watching all these videos from other YouTubers. Yeah, there's a problem. I admit that. I see it. I saw one's examples. One didn't want to give any examples. I don't know why, but it will get fixed. Look, you think this is the first hiccup in programming in 25 years of eBay? No. It's the same thing with Apple. When Apple has a new app or something come out or a new update, when they're testing it with 1,000 people, they're like, okay, cool, we got this. All suddenly, millions of people have it, and then they realize, boy, that test group wasn't what the norm is, and now millions of people are having a problem. They'll get it fixed. But today, don't worry about it so much. There is an issue. Granted, I see that. I see the examples. But the world is not coming to an end, okay? So stop. Stop. I mean, I've gotten so many messages. Oh my God, Jay, I've seen all these other videos of all these other YouTubers. They're saying the world's ending. No, it isn't. It isn't. But if you're unhappy with eBay, and I understand why you would be, because I think what they're doing is kind of bullshit, but go work on something else. There's 70,000 other platforms. Go work on another one.
Okay, I have some things. Can I say some things about that real quick?
Yes, you can.
I like what they're doing for one. I had someone message me and say, did you know your items listed twice? And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did that get past us? No, one was my promoted listing that was sponsored, and one was the other listing. So I think it's going to take up less space now, excuse me, instead of having the sponsored and the same listing, you know? And then the other thing I want to say is this. Right now, people that are freaking out aren't using promoted listings. So get your listings up and use promoted listing and start selling the heck out of your stuff while everybody else is running around thinking that the sky's falling.
So Jenny says, am I doing promoted listings? Yes, I am. And Tom Higgins, and this is what I saw. I use an ad block and my promoted are showing up unless I sort by best match. So yes, there is something very wrong in the search. eBay's well aware of it based on the 10,000 videos made today. So they'll get it fixed. Don't worry about it. But the amount of people who are fretting and fuming, you're wasting energy. Let's talk about fun, sexy things like insurance. I see Ashlyn smiling in the green room. All right, one more commercial before we get Ashlyn in here. Ecom Chicago is coming up October 16th through 18th. I see Rich and Nyla want to give away another free one. I didn't have time to on the fly give it away, but I will on Mom and My show on Sunday. We'll be on 7 o'clock East Coast, 4 o'clock West Coast. We're still working on our topic. But we will be giving away a entry to Ecom Chicago. If you want to just get signed up, Tiki20 off is the code to save $20. Now, there are two cool things happening that I have not talked about yet. One is this VetTix website helps veterans buy tickets for events that might be beneficial to them, either mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. And so they have partnered up with Ecom to buy the tickets. So if you're a veteran, you can actually attend Ecom for free.
I love it.
Yes. So I'm going to get that post up in the group. So if you're a veteran in the Chicago area, want to join us, we can get you taken care of. If you know a veteran in the Chicago area that's maybe starting out and maybe struggling a little bit, we can get you taken care of. Then, if you're not a veteran, we've also, Ecom Chicago's also had a sponsor help out. If you couldn't afford the whole price, they're going to get you a ticket at a very, very discounted rate with this grant application.
Nice.
So you don't have to say, hey, I'm a little broke, I need help out loud. We can help you get a greatly discounted ticket behind the scenes. I'm happy to help you and facilitate, get you that ticket. So message me. I'm not going to be asking a million questions. I just feel anybody who's going to message me is going to be honest. So that's where it's going to end. But if you want to attend and you couldn't afford it, and I can help you there. If you're a veteran, I can help you there too.
Fabulous. I love it.
All right. Whew. All right. So next week, we have an amazing guest on. Jeannie LaSalle, who was our Shine Award winner, one of the Shine Award winners this year at eBay Open. and she works with the glass slipper, which helps girls who are in the foster system. And I'm going to go up and work with her, and we're going to teach an eBay class. It's going to be awesome. So we're talking about all that next week. But we're in this week right now, and let's get our guests in here. Ashlyn, how the heck are you, Ashlyn?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Woo!
Hello. You still drinking your wine?
Yeah.
Now, is that a refill? That's the real question.
That is my refill.
Oh my God, look what's going on behind Ashlyn. Oops. Let me get a full.
That's
yeah.
the kitties.
I didn't know we were gonna have live animal action here
I didn't
tonight.
either. Let's go this way a little bit. There we go.
No, go back. That's fun. Right now, my admin Angela's like, oh my God, kitty cats. Yay.
Are they brother and sister, or they're related? Same
They
letter?
are brother and sister. Quick story, my kids said they wanted a cat. I went to go pick up a cat and got guilted into taking the brother and the sister.
Oh,
Now we have 2 cats.
perfect.
So
See, they
apparently-
know each other.
So real quick, apparently, someone went and searched for your book, Deb, and they couldn't find it.
With that link?
Yep. So I'm gonna pop. No, they went and searched straight up. Okay. So if you're looking for Debbie's notebook, I just put the fresh link, the link in the chat again. So it's there right now, and go get it.
Yeah, if you search Thrifty Business, it should come up. But it's Amazon. Maybe there's a glitch.
So let's talk about insurance for a second, because if I had kitty cats, I would really need it for all my breakables in my house. Because as you can see how chaotic cats are, cats and a house full of tiki mugs do not go together.
No.
So, I read your bio, and I meant to say this earlier. This is not going to be the sexiest, funnest topic we've ever talked about.
I'm going to make it sexy.
All right,
Wait.
cool. But, when you have to talk about insurance or savings or 401k, that's never fun. Fun is talking about, oh my God, we're at a flea market and we found this but it's a necessary evil you got to have. I mean, you got to have car insurance. You got to have health insurance. You got to have house insurance or apartment insurance wherever you live. And now all of us e-commerce, we've got stock and we've got stuff. And sometimes the regular insurance won't cover us, will they, Ashlyn?
Right. No. So kind of the big thing that we get a question all the time is, a lot of my e-com sellers work from home. They work from a small office. They work from a small prep center. And I always get, well, my homeowner's insurance will cover my stock. Unless you can lie to your insurance company that you've got 50,000 toothbrushes because you like a new toothbrush every time you brush your teeth, they're going to know it's legit. They're going to know that it's for a business, and they're going to say, I'm not paying it. So no, your personal insurance, no matter if it's a car insurance or if it's your homeowner's insurance, it's not going to cover your losses if it's for business use. So get that out of your mind. If you have a business, act like a business and get insurance like a real business.
So if I have my stuff in my house and I have a flood
Or a fire.
or a fire, or my cat walks by and is like, I'm gonna knock all these breakables off.
Right.
Oh, burglary.
What? So
Burglary.
our normal homeowners insurance won't cover all that?
No, it won't. So it's your personal belongings would be covered under your personal insurance. Your business belongings would be covered under your business. Your prepping materials, your computer, your packing equipment, all of those things that you use for your business. Maybe your computer, you can get away with it because you can say it's for personal use too, but your business stuff, they're going to know it's for a business and they're not going to cover it. So think Q4, think, the end of the year and you're getting shipments in, you get a $50,000 shipment, you stick it in your basement and you have a fire, you have a theft, that's gone. That's $50,000 you will never see again. If you use a prep center and you ship your products to a prep center, a lot of the prep centers don't insure your products. So if they were to have a theft from that prep center, that wouldn't be covered. Another big thing is prep centers come in and out really, really quick. And we've had clients who's like, no, I use a prep center. They'll cover my stuff. Don't worry about it. And the prep center, poof, disappears. And they come back to me and say, I've got $200,000 worth of products sitting in that prep center. What can I do about it? And I said, you declined the coverage. You didn't want coverage for this. And they're out $200,000. They're out $50,000, whatever's sitting in that prep center. So that's the big thing that you guys have got to remember, that this product is like cash to you. If it's gone, you can't sell it and you don't make any money. So protect your assets, protect that stuff that you're trying to sell.
So a good friend of mine makes tiki mugs. As you can see, everything rolls back into tiki mugs. But this really is about insurance. So he drove to the biggest tiki event with his brand new 2019 Toyota pickup truck, had a locking bed cover, and he was going to sell his mugs. This was Thursday. He was going to vend on Friday and Saturday, and he had $20,000 in tiki mugs in his bed, and his truck got stolen from the parking lot of the event, and the insurance company said, oh, we'll cover the truck. We are not covering the $20,000 in merch in your. Now, because he was honest, he could have said it was my personal stuff, and maybe he got away with it, but because he said I was about to sell it. Now, would you have covered that?
So you would have to have insurance for property in transit. So that just means that you're moving it from your storage facility or your home to someplace else. But yeah, you can add transit coverage and cover that stuff. We try to do that because a lot of our clients do a lot of sourcing on like the same day. So they'll go to Kohl's in the morning, buy $10,000 worth of stock, go to TJ Maxx and buy stock, and go to Target. So in that day, they're going to have 3 different stores with 3 different types of products in their car. If there was a theft between stores, we would pick up that theft. You just have to prove that you owned it. So you got your receipt. That's what we need. So that's a big thing that we see, is that property in transit for people who are actually outsourcing on a daily, weekly basis.
Makes sense.
So this would be something I should probably talk to my tiki mug making friends. Hey, if you're transporting a bunch of mugs, as witnessed by what happened to our buddy,
right?
20 grand with no, and they found the truck. They had just signed off that the truck was gone. Here's the money, and then they found it the next day, and of course nothing was left. And the cop said by now the guy who had it is probably the 5th guy who's had it, so he has no clue where the mugs are. And it was just, and buying stuff and losing is one thing. He made those by hand, so that's where it's like, even like, stab me even deeper. Like all my hard work is just gone.
And it's not, I mean, we would never be able to replace those mugs. I mean, that's his hard-earned product. But at least we could cut him a check for 10 grand and he can go buy the materials to make them again. And it's not an expensive coverage. It's not like, you're going to pay $1,000 a year to have, $10,000 in coverage. We add it to your general liability policy that's already required by Amazon. It's going to be required by eBay here soon. Like, we already added the policy that's there. So it's not like it's a bunch more money. It is a very cheap, not cheap. It is a very inexpensive coverage to have, to add to your other policies.
Yeah, that, just on the eve of having you, that just happened a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, oh my God, that is what we're talking about, really. It's not really thrifting, but wow, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Ashlyn, how did you get into this industry? Were you an e-commerce seller yourself and you decided one day I want to sell insurance?
No. So one of my clients on the personal side, I had his personal auto and home insurance, was an Amazon seller. And about 3 years ago, he came to me and was like, hey, Amazon's changing the terms of service and we have to have this liability policy. Will you help me? And I was like, Chris, I don't know anything about it. I don't know what you guys do. All I know is everyone hates you. Nobody in the insurance industry likes what you do. They're all like, e-com. So I was like, no, it's not worth it. There wasn't a whole lot of commission in it. And I hate to sound like that, but it was a lot of work and not a lot of pay. And he's like, I really, really need your help. So I reluctantly spent about 3 months trying to find a carrier that would allow us to write this, and came back and was able to issue the policy. And he's like, oh, by the way, I have this Facebook group and there's 15,000 of us in there. Can I post your information? And I'm like, 15,000? Okay, maybe it's worth my time now.
Yeah.
And then I really just fell in love with your culture. I mean, I do a lot of mom and pop shops and things like that, but nobody has the culture like e-com sellers. Nobody has this community. Nobody has this like, stay off my listing, but I love you and I'm going to help support you and I'm going to encourage you and I'm going to teach you what I did wrong and I'm going to teach you how to do these other things. And I really just fell in love with how much you guys love and support each other, that kind of just pushed a lot of my energy into you guys. You know, I eat, sleep, and breathe e-com and Amazon, and I'm all the time looking at what you guys do, and I attend 10 to 15 conferences a year. So I really just dove into you guys because you were the redheaded stepchildren and no one liked you.
That is so awesome to have someone who really cares and who gets us. That makes a huge difference.
And like, I always say, like, well, some of my clients are like, well, I'll use my local State Farm agent or whatever. And I'm like, if you say I sell FBA or I sell on eBay, and they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, run the other way. You need to know that your agent knows what you're doing, where you're sourcing from, how you're getting your material, what the risks are. And so it's kind of just been immersing myself into your guys' crazy culture.
That's awesome. I have to ask my $1 million question. Can you insure us? We sell used items. Because I tried to get insurance before and they said, not if you're selling used items, we don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, so in the beginning, when I first started, they didn't want any used items. It's funny, the more business you place with these carriers, the more I get to kind of manipulate what we do. We have a little bit more buying power now. So when we buy in bulk, and I've got, hundreds of thousands of clients a month, they kind of listen. So we were able to open up that door now and get those coverages where we didn't have them in the beginning. So yeah, we can definitely do used items. Used electronics is a little bit more difficult, but used clothing, used furniture, that kind of stuff, we don't really have any issues with anymore. Yeah, used toys are okay too. So now we do a lot more on eBay now than we ever did. In the beginning, it was like Amazon. But we are really now cross borders. So we've got Amazon, eBay, Wayfair, Jet, all of these different platforms covered with one policy. You don't need a policy for each platform you're selling on. So personalize it all you want.
Poshmark too, because they're accepting home goods now and home decor and all kinds of. Oh, this is fabulous! I'm so glad we had you on.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit some things in the chat here. Rich and Nyla said, if you don't have at least $500,000 business liability insurance, you are crazy. Well, we're all crazy, Rich and Nyla. They're all crazy.
You all are crazy.
Lori said you did a great insurance overview at Ecom Chicago last year.
That's why
I'll be there again. I'll be there again, so come check me out.
Yay.
I have a coach's corner, so if you want some one-on-one time.
How many hours are you doing in the coach's corner, Ashlyn?
4.
Oh, rookie! I'm doing all 8.5.
I don't know. He's like, do you want to do it? And I was like, I guess.
Last year I did 5, and I patted myself on the back, and then Chris Green sat there for 9 hours. I'm like, crap.
Oh, that's Chris Green. Come on, he is an overachiever.
Oh well, I'm overachieving this year. I'm doing the whole day too. So now Susan says my insurance covers my business as an inclusion. For the business, I pay extra.
Exactly.
And then my wife asked this, and Kathy's asking about it. What about this? If your stuff's in a storage unit, I'm assuming.
Yeah, same thing. So if it's in a storage unit, you need to add that as an additional location. You can always check with your storage unit or your prep center and say, is my policy with you cover my personal property? If they say yes, ask for a certificate of insurance.
Yes, please.
Make them prove to you that it is covered, because they're gonna say yes, it is. And when it comes down to it, if there's a fire or a theft, you want to be darn sure that it is. So ask for that certificate of insurance and make sure you do have the actual coverage. Because I have a lot of prep centers insured and they don't have coverage for you.
So Trends Are Us said, won't they be depreciated before you get the check for used items? Now, my question is, it kind of ties into this. Some things I have, like that Slipknot CD, it went up in value since the last time I checked. So how do you determine on the used items, is it the market value of the item at the moment when you're like, hey, I've lost these 10,000 CDs?
Yeah, so insurance is to make you whole. It's never going to make you better. If you have a $500,000 house, we're not going to replace it with $1 million house. So we're going to replace it really at what you paid for it. So it's not what you're going to sell it for. It's what you paid for it. We're going to make you whole. We're not going to make you better because we can't prove that $10 CD was you were actually going to get $50 for it. So we're going to give you your $10 back and make you whole. Hopefully you get the CD back and you can sell it again for $50.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Paul had asked the question ahead of time, but he's in the chat too. What kind of insurance is needed if we sell things that could harm customers if not used correctly? And so before I was going to let him off the hook, I said, so what do you mean, Paul? And he said, well, I sell Scentsy, you know, where you put the things in and it warms up. And so we've made a sticker that says, do not eat. And I was thinking, what if your Scentsy happened to burn down your house? That, you know, they bought, but I wasn't even thinking that a kid might eat the Scentsy pod or whatever.
Sure.
So what about the insurance if it's an item that could, like, you know, a t-shirt really couldn't harm anybody, but something that plugs in could burn someone else's houses down? Would that cover
I'm going to
it?
go back to that t-shirt can't harm somebody, but I'll answer your question first. So what you need to have for selling anything online, you need general liability and product liability. General liability is going to cover for what you do or say as a business. Product liability is going to cover you for what your products do to harm someone or someone else's personal property. That's, again, one policy, bundle it together. As long as you're not doing private label, it's like $600, $700, $800 a year. That's it for all of that.
That's nice.
Okay. We get a lot. Well, I just resell other people's items. I don't private label. My products can't harm someone. I'm never going to be listed in a lawsuit, whatever. This is America. People sue anyone for any reason.
Exactly.
They are going to sue everyone in the line of custody. We had a claim last year. She was an RA seller. She was selling a watermelon cutter. The lady was cutting the watermelon, handle broke, cut the tip of her finger off. My client was listed in the lawsuit along with Amazon and the manufacturer. It was $32,000 in legal fees just to get her name dropped from the lawsuit. She wasn't held liable. It was just our carrier saying our customer had nothing to do with it. So if somebody eats a Scentsy, somebody touches it and has a reaction on it, whatever it is, the major thing that you're going to see is that this policy is going to hire your attorney and defend you from that lawsuit, saying you had nothing to do with this lawsuit.
That's
And
fabulous.
all of that's like $600 to $800 a year.
That is
So it's super cheap.
And we see how dark Sabrina goes. You could hang yourself with a
I
t-shirt.
was thinking the same thing.
Geez, Sabrina, you went dark.
Hey,
We
we have
see a lot of skin reactions from clothing that is coming from overseas. So
Or
people
laundry
put
stuff.
on dyes in the fabrics, cause skin reactions. They sue because now they have a rash and they can't be a runway model anymore or whatever. So there's stupid shit happens every day. We had someone trip over a box and broke their clavicle and broke their hip and sued our client, and they were RA sellers. So it's like, you're stupid. Look down. There's a box there. You can't sue my client for shipping something to you. So you can be sued for anything. Just buy a damn policy and you'll be covered.
Kathy says, is there such thing as replacement cost insurance for businesses like there is for homes?
So like it would be replacement cost for your business personal property. You could pay to upgrade to that. Yes. You can also do replacement costs for a building. So if you own the building yourself, instead of leasing the building, we could do replacement costs on the actual building itself too.
And so what company is this that you use for these insurance policies?
So we have 37 companies.
Whoa. Okay. Can you name all 37 without looking at a list?
No.
probably bad.
The big companies that we really partner with now are Travelers, Hartford, Lloyd's of London, Markel. Those are like the big ones that play in the e-com realm really, really well. We've got great pricing with them. We have discounted pricing than if you just were to go to like travelers.com. Our rates are different. We get better rates for you guys, because again, I'm doing so much for e-com sellers. We get better underwriting, we get quicker turnarounds. So it's just easier. And then if something happens and your rates go up, then you don't have to go shop again. That's my job. I get to go shop your rates and say, okay, well, we're going to move you to this company instead. And you don't have to go do the hard work. That's our job.
Okay, I have a couple questions. Can we do this monthly, or do we have to give you the $800 all at once?
Good question. So as long as you can stay with a standard line carrier, then you can pay it monthly. They do allow routing account numbers. They allow credit cards. So it really depends on your carrier that we place you with. As long as you're not doing anything high risk and we keep you with a standard carrier, then you can pay it monthly.
Okay. And then Becky Dick, one of our friends, has a question. How do you provide basis for inventory insured? I question, as traditional writers on insurance policies require appraisals or receipts. I think you talked about this, where most of us obtain our items at flea markets and garage sales. That makes it a bit of a problem.
So you are going to have to prove that you owned it. So we're not Amazon. We don't need the receipts that will correspond to everything with the listings and the prices and the SKU numbers. It's not that difficult. You can have a handwritten receipt. On the back, you can write, I bought XYZ, staple them together, and then you could provide that as proof. We just have to know that you bought something and what we're trying to replace.
And I would think it would be kind of easy to know that you didn't pay $1,000 for this ring that's only worth $10.
Right.
So I would think that it's pretty much going to be $2, $5. It's not going to be these crazy amounts of money. If it is, then you would know they're trying to commit fraud.
Right. And if you're doing $5, $10, $15 items, it might be worth just self-insuring. You might not want to add business personal property for $500 worth of items. That's going to cost you $50. I mean, you might just want to self-insure for that. But what you do want to insure for is the $30,000 in legal fees, the $70,000 in legal fees, and God forbid you actually are the one that does something wrong, $1 million in a liability suit. So we how we structure our policies and the process is we ask you the questions up front. What are you doing? Where are you sourcing? Where do you keep your products at? And we build the policy around your risk and your needs.
That's
so I'm not gonna offer you something that you don't need. If you don't need business personal property because you only have $5,000 in stock and it's there for a day, then I'm not gonna offer it for you. So we really know what you're doing and how you're sourcing and know the products to offer you guys.
That's why you're great to work with. And you might have covered this. Nadine asked, in my old house, her finished basement flooded. I lost some inventory. Does your insurance cover flooding? I think you talked about that. And because her homeowners wouldn't. Mine doesn't either.
Yeah, so flood is a totally different beast. Flood is different. So water backup is different than flood insurance. Flood is water coming from outside in. Water backup is water from inside. So it covers water backup. It does not cover flood. Flood insurance, you have to buy on your own. It's through FEMA. It's a totally different beast. But it would cover if like your sump pump broke or your pipe bursted, things like that. That it would cover.
Okay.
I want to say Angelique said, this is great info. Definitely not boring.
Oh, for sure.
Sexy, right?
but Angelique, is it sexy though? Is it sexy right now?
It's totally fun. Cutting your finger off with a watermelon cutter, that's sexy stuff right there.
I own that watermelon cutter, and I tried it once, and it was too hard, and I told my husband, throw it out of the house. I don't want to ever see it again.
$1 million lawsuit, Debbie. Use that thing.
Darn, I could have came to Ecom Chicago with that. I love how you present it, too, because you know what you're talking about, and you make it easy. So that's really good. I was going to say, on my homeowner's insurance, I have a rider for my auto insurance. I have a rider for my car. So if I drive to the post office to drop packages off and I get in a wreck, I'm covered. And it's not that expensive. I can't remember, it's $26 a month. Or if I'm at a garage sale, a friend of mine was at a garage sale and the lady ran right into her car. Then my car would be covered if I ran into somebody, right? Because I have
you
that.
have to have the business use on your policy.
That's what I have.
Yeah, so you can call and ask your insurance company if they have that endorsement. If they don't, you can get a commercial auto policy. But if you were to cause an accident and they find out that you're on business time, they could deny the claim. So that's where like you need to at least have the business use on your insurance policy, and you can add auto to your business liability policy, and it's not that much more expensive either. So that's probably like 150-ish more a year. So you would have the liability coverage on the liability policy and your business coverage on the auto policy.
Okay.
So I don't know if I understand Brandon's question. Can we get insurance in the event Amazon or eBay won't pay it? Won't pay
I'm
what?
assuming he's probably talking about suspension insurance.
Oh.
So if Amazon or eBay won't pay you for your business, I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. So I don't want to talk about that. No. So I am the one that created the suspension insurance about 1.5 years ago. Things were not working to my expectations, so I did cut the contract, and I'm not doing it anymore. So right now there is not a policy out there that's going to pay during a suspension, but we are working on trying to find something new that actually works to our expectations.
Awesome. I wanted to have you on after, because I read what happened. I know there's been a change with Amazon. Didn't Amazon used to, like, they were covered? They were like, nope, it's not us. We're out of it. And then I think it's Supreme Court in one of the states said, oh, no. And I read that and I thought, we got to have you on.
Yeah. So the deal was, there was a woman who did a retractable leash. So you put the thing on your kids. Oh my goodness, your dogs.
Kids need them too.
Don't put it on your kids, on your dogs. The retractable leash broke and hit this person in the eye, and they were an architect. So now they're saying, I can't work again. I can't work anymore. I've had all these eye surgeries. I'm pain and suffering and all of this stuff. It ended up going to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, Amazon, you are liable for what you're putting on your platform. If they're defective, if they're counterfeit, all of these things, you are now liable for this. Where before Amazon said, I'm not doing crap about it. This is on you. So the new stuff that Amazon is releasing is saying, okay, if we're going to be responsible for this, we're pushing this back on you, the third-party sellers. It's always been in your terms of service that you need a liability policy. You've signed off that you have a liability policy, but they just haven't been policing it. Now they're saying, we're going to police it when you start your account, and we're going to police it every year. You're going to have to send us a certificate of insurance, and then every year you renew, you have to send it to us again. So we hope that this is going to push all of those crappy sellers off the platform, those people who are selling counterfeit, those people who have 300 accounts. They're going to have 300 insurance policies, or they're going to have to cancel or suspend their accounts. So we're hoping this helps you guys get rid of some of the bad players. But it's also going to say, you're a business. You need to act like a business. You need to have insurance like a business. And Amazon wants you to list them as an additional insured to say, if I get sued and Amazon gets sued, my policy is going to pick this up. So they want you guys to do it now instead of them.
And it must be a tax write-off too. That $800 a year, got to pay some tax write-off.
Great suggestion. Come in the Q4. Let's get ready for some taxes.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Something else that I read, and something to think about, if you're a retail arbitrage, you mentioned RA earlier. People might not know that means retail arbitrage. I read that a guy bought a motorcycle helmet on Amazon, and the seller in their description said it was DOT, Department of Transportation approved. The guy bought it. He got in a motorcycle accident. His helmet flew off. It was not DOT. He was killed. And the only amount of money his family could get was $5,000. So let's say there's a listing like that. I go out scanning. Oh, look at this helmet. It's worth $50 and I'm going to pay $2 or more. I list it, not realizing I didn't check if it was Department of Transportation approved. So now we're all liable. You know what I mean? So when you're retail arbitraging, you better make darn sure every description, and people can change the listing. You might have created a listing and someone can come along and change it. And all of a sudden you don't realize you get a lawsuit, but I didn't list it that way. So that's why I think this is extra important now.
Now you could come back and say, okay, I listed it this way. Here's my proof that this was my listing. Here's my proof that someone hopped on my listing and changed it, and say, I'm not liable for this information. But again, you have to have an attorney to go defend you for that.
Yes, exactly.
And that's, $300, $400, $500 an hour. Attorneys aren't cheap. Believe me, I've paid for a bunch of them in the last 2 years.
And the
They're not
stress,
cheap.
just the whole stress of the whole thing.
All right,
Right.
I gotta throw somebody out of the chat. So hold on, Susan,
Okay.
get out. I hate that she shed commercial. Get out, Susan. That is the one commercial that it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. It comes on, I'm like,
I love
The
it.
she
all right. So
shed
here's what Brandon has to
homeowners.
say. Brandon said, "I buy lots of expensive."
homeowners. The stuff in your she shed would be your business if it was
No,
your business.
no more she sheds. All right, so Brandon
I've
said,
never heard of a she shed. What is a she shed? Is that like a man cave?
Yes.
"Yes."
There's a commercial. Isn't it?
I've seen the commercial. I just didn't know what a she shed was.
All right, so
Yeah.
Brandon says he buys lots of expensive tech goods from Amazon and eBay in excess of 10K. At times, I've been scammed and have had to prove it, but with luck only. Is there a policy for business owners' protections? I still don't understand your question, Brandon.
Not for being scammed.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I mean,
You made a bad choice. You made a bad business decision. There's really not insurance to cover that. If the product wasn't shipped to you, like you never received it, we might have some coverage there if you have some business personal property, but not if you bought an item and it was counterfeit. And unfortunately, there's just not coverage for something like that yet.
Okay, I have.
like mother, like son. My mom hates that commercial too.
Okay, I have a question. I did not know this. I just recently learned out if I buy postage from the post office, let's say it's $15, or it could be $60 for a really heavy set of books. $60. I buy insurance. They lose my package. The post office will pay me for the books, but the post office is not covering the shipping. Is that true? That's
Yes.
what people are saying. How
Yes,
can
that
that?
That's
How
always,
can that
it's always
be?
been that way, though.
But they lost my package. I insured it. And
That's a
shipped it.
question for them, not Ashley.
Well, that's why I
You know
use it.
what?
So Debbie, as a producer, get an important postal employee on and let's ask
If
him.
you can prove that the item you took possession of the item and it was stolen, then you'd have coverage. But if the item was never in your possession, then there wouldn't be any coverage under a policy.
But I shipped it. I gave it to the post office. They shipped it to my buyer. They lost it or they broke it.
Call the
And now
president.
You're not helping.
He'll figure that one out for you.
Okay. Well, that's why Pirate Ship does cover it. I'm getting the Pirate Ship guy on this whenever I can.
All right.
Okay.
So Linda says, what are the limits recommended?
So the basic policy is $1 million general liability policy. I always recommend at least 3 times your sales. So if you're doing anywhere over $500,000 in sales, we need to look at a little bit higher limits than a normal policy. But just basic, I'm starting now, it's $1 million general liability policy.
That's good. Because our houses are at stake too.
Right. Everything. We get this all the time. Well, I have an LLC. I'll just go bankrupt. I'm like, that's great. I'm glad you have an LLC. I'm glad you have a corporation, but try to pick up the phone and call your LLC and say, I'm being sued. Will you come to court? It's not going to happen. Yeah, you can. If you get held liable, you can say, hey, I'm filing bankruptcy and I can't pay this, but you still are going to have to pay that attorney to defend you. So yes, have an LLC, have a corporation, have that protection for your assets, but you still need a policy to defend you in case something does happen.
Okay. That's something I never thought about. The policy defends me in court. Like I said, our homeowners, I have a policy to cover us if I get frauded, if somebody takes over my name, we have a rider on our homeowners to cover all of that attorney fees. But I never thought about it with our businesses.
Another big thing that's going on right now, everything's cyber. People are hacking in. We do sell cyber insurance too, but another thing that's not covered under a normal cyber policy is they're hacking into your system. They're getting invoices between like you and a wholesaler. So I got a wholesale account with this glass manufacturer, and they send me an invoice for $10,000. I get the invoice. I go to pay the invoice like I normally do all the time. I wire the funds. Week later, the wholesaler comes back and says, hey, where's my money? So you said, I already sent it. Here's the proof. The hackers are hacking in and changing your invoice to route your funds to a different location than your normal wholesaler's payment. And since you intentionally sent those funds to the wrong spot, it is not covered under a normal policy. So you have to have this rider on your cyber policy to cover a fraudulent transfer. You did it on purpose. You just sent it to the wrong place because the invoice told you that's where you're supposed to send it. So if you don't want to buy the insurance policy, fine, don't buy the insurance policy. But pick up the phone and call your wholesaler and say, I want to verify that the routing and account number is correct and where I'm sending my payment to. At least do that to cover your butt, because you're going to potentially send those funds someplace else and you would never get that money back.
Wow. You are a doll. You are such a huge asset for us.
So we're going to wrap it up here, but Paul had a great one. I wonder if you'll cover this. My mother has the shittiest internet service. Can we get a policy to cover every time it interrupts our show? Is that a possibility?
I'll work on that.
My mom lives in the country, and it never works well. It never works well. All right, so how do people get a hold of you, Ashlyn?
Yeah, so best thing to do is hit our website, www.ecom.insure, so ecom.insure. Ashlyn protects my assets on Facebook, on Twitter and Instagram, or you can hit me on Facebook, Ashlyn D. Haddon on Facebook. Also, I'm around. Text me, call me, email me, send me smoke messages. I'm up all night, and now even worse with these 2 cats. So feel free to email me anytime.
I was just saying, I put you up on the whole screen at once because there was a battle royale going on behind you. They were just like, you get off my platform. Oh, apparently, look at that. So you can make some money. I need that coverage for bad internet, too.
So can you say that again? www.ecom.insure.
INSURE.
Not .com?
Nope.
Okay.
.insure.
Okay, because I want to put it in the show notes. Cool.
And then email is sales@ashlynhaddoninsurance.com.
There we go. I misheard it because I was going to bring it up. I'm like, how come this isn't working? There we go.
Bam. Up there, get a quote. You can get your quote for RAOA wholesale or private label. All the other products are on there. If you've got workers comp, commercial auto, we do it all. We even do your home and auto insurance, your life insurance. So everything that you need as an e-com seller, we're your one-stop shop.
Nice.
So just ecom.insure. I know everyone's going to do like I did, throw in .com. No, ecom.insure. Boom, there it is. Well, I want to thank you for being on tonight. I don't know if we went into sexy, but it wasn't boring.
That's for sure.
At least it's not boring.
No, that was great because we all are in the same boat. We all have our products. You know, we never, of course, you hope nothing ever happens, but a few guests ago, she was just sitting home, boom, tornado destroys everything in her house. Luckily, her stock was saved. That, like, Mother Nature's like, we're going to mess up your whole life except for your business. So that's like the opposite of what normally happens.
Hey, at least she had something to sell to try to help make her money.
Right.
That's
That's
true.
right.
And I'm so thankful that it's only like you said, and I know the prices can vary, but to around $800 a year. It's not like, oh, it's going to cost you $5,000, and all of us just step back and say we can't do that.
Right, and the more things you add, of course, the price is going to go up. But just to get the basic insurance, it really is very inexpensive. And to pay it monthly, auto draft from your account, you'll forget it.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. That was an awesome show. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. If you've not subscribed before, go right down here and subscribe and click the little bell. The bell lets you know when we're going live. Give us a thumbs up. Mom and I will be on Sunday at 7 o'clock East Coast, 4 o'clock West Coast. And then Thrifty Business will be back with the Shine Award winner next Thursday. And we'll see the rest of you around the Thrifting Board in Secret Beach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Go buy a book so you can keep notes.
Get your notebook.
Bye.
Oops. And goodbye.